All right, let's talk about the Wisconsin Badgers here for a little bit. Look, this is a program that's had one heck of a solid offseason. Of course, they brought in a lot of quality transfers. 2023 is looking up because of a lot of those moves. Of course, Luke Fickell is to thank for a lot of that. But it's not just what Fickell has done in the transfer game, Miles. We have a couple really nice reports highlighting what Fickell has done with this program for the long term. And I think Wisconsin fans will be really excited by this development.
Yeah, Nick, I think Luke Fickell was an excellent hire. He is a great head coaching hire for this team, and the story we have today is going to highlight just how good he is. But he also brought along a great assistant coaches with him into the fold. I think this is a team that looks much improved from the 2022 season, so we're going to see how that pans out. But Wisconsin's fans, speaking of assistant coaches, let us know in the comments section below. Who are your favorite assistant Wisconsin coaches of all time in the comment section below? I think there's a few interesting answers throughout the history of this program. So let us know in the comments below who are your favorite Wisconsin assistant coaches of all time. But Nick, let's get on into it. I love to hear about Luke Fickell. What is going on with Wisconsin?
Yeah, so obviously Wisconsin under Chris, they were a good team. Never really a great team. They snuck into the top 10, I think, once or twice. They were always in the top 25, but it really hurt them to take that leap. It's just they weren't good enough in the recruiting department. And that's where Fickle has come in and done a great job. We've got a report from Outkick.com highlighting some of that, Mize, if you want to go ahead and throw it up. All right, Luke Fickell wasted absolutely no time before turning around Wisconsin's recruiting. One of the biggest problems at the end of Paul Chryst's tenure was that recruiting had fallen apart. Like I just said, it seemed like it was no longer a priority. Losing a step in recruiting is a death sentence in college football. Chryst was fired after 5 games into the 2022 season, and former Cincy coach has been tasked with injecting life back into the Proud Badgers program. While he's already putting in work on the recruiting front, the highest ranked recruiting class in recent Wisconsin history was in 2021 when it ranked 16th in the nation in 24/7 sports. Currently, Wisconsin's 2024 class sits at 19th in the country on 24/7 sports, and that's with more time to add players and for current commits to improve further. Yeah, so this is an important thing to highlight. At this point in the game, the ratings are going to be a little skewed because some teams have a lot of recruits. For example, Stanford is a bit ahead of Wisconsin in the rankings. They have like 30 commits, right? So obviously Wisconsin will eventually leapfrog Stanford as to get more commits. But anyway, that means Luke Fickell is on the verge of bringing in Wisconsin's greatest recruiting class ever before coaching a single regular season game. Obviously, the 2023 class happened. This past class wasn't the best, but your transfers were good. But you have to look at that as a bit of a gap player, just as you would for any other first-year coach. All right, Miles, to me, this is an indicator that Wisconsin got it right because I agree 100%. The Badgers, solid program, good program, won a lot of football games. But there's a reason they could never consistently overcome the Ohio States, overcome the Michigans, or get at a level of an Alabama or get at a level of a Georgia, for example, because they can't recruit at that level. They do a lot of things great. I love the talent. I love the atmosphere, great college campus, all that kind of things. Everything you want in a program. They just weren't good enough at recruiting. We all love Nick Saban as a coach. We think he's great. We all love Ryan Day. We all love Harbaugh. We all love Kirby Smart. The reality is, in order to be a national championship college football playoff contender, you have to recruit like one. And that's why they brought in Fickell. And it looks like he's doing just that, Mize. What do you think of this report and just everything with Wisconsin right now?
Yeah, Nick, I think this is very, very crucial for Wisconsin because, as it stated earlier, Chris kind of let recruiting go by the wayside, and we can see the huge drop off in the program as soon as we notice that something like that happens. But what I want to notice here is Fickell already has really turned this program around without doing anything. There's no results on the field, but we know that he can put results on the field. He took a team to the college football playoff already.
Right.
He is an extremely accomplished coach. He has done it with less, and he is a very good selector of talent, as we saw with guys like Sauce Gardner, as we saw with guys like Desmond Ritter. Those guys are really, really talented players. But Nick, I think the key here is we can see the disparity of 2023 class. If we go back there, they were 40th in recruiting. Not really great, but they bumped that number up. They're 27th in the transfer portal for that class coming in, and there really was no reason for people to want to come. So there's already a little bit of a rise there, and I think that's a slight Luke Fickell effect as to why they were able to get so high there. Now we see in 2024, they're already up to 19th in that overall ranking. I expect that transfer portal ranking to be a little bit higher because I think this is going to be a really talented Wisconsin team. They're going to surprise a lot of people, think they can get in the door here and be on the verge of something great because they saw what Luke Fickell did at Cincinnati. They're going to see even a much improved Wisconsin. They don't have to be college football playoff contenders yet, but if they are improved, they're going to see the writing on the wall and want to come over to this program. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a top 10 transfer class coming into Wisconsin just based off of what Luke Fickell can do with this program. So I think this story is spot on. I think this is really interesting to see. And I think this is going to be a great one to look back on after a year and say, hey, we knew that this was going to be good, but maybe we didn't know it was going to be just this good.
Yeah, and Miles, just one thing I want to end on. You brought it up. You brought up Desmond Ritter, the former Cincinnati quarterback. I think that is the biggest thing they brought in Fickell to do, of course, is to recruit well at quarterback and the skill positions. And that was something that has been missing for a number of years. And again, like I alluded to, recruiting, when you look at the Ryan Days, the Harbaughs, the Sabins, the Smarts, they recruit extremely well at quarterback and at the skill position. That's what you need to do to be a top flight contender. You can throw Clemson in the mix, Southern Cal in the mix as well. That's what you need to do. That's what Fickell did exceptionally well. That's how he brought Cincinnati to the top of the college football world, getting him to the college football playoff despite not being a Power 5 team. I think that's exactly his focus as he's getting ready for 2024 and beyond. And I agree with you 100%. We're going to have to keep an eye on this because I really think Wisconsin is probably just a few short years away, a couple more of these recruiting classes away from being really special.